Dice, and today I have come up with one more session on obesity and fertility. Many times, many patients ask me this question: Is the weight do contribute to a pregnancy, or does it contribute to a fertility issues? My answer is always yes. You need to maintain a healthy weight so that your fertility parameters falls in the normal range, and then you are able to conceive naturally and have a healthy particular pregnancy, and you may not get the other particular related issues that can come up because of the obesity. So in this session I'm going to brief you about the obesity and how it can affect your fertility aspects, as well as how it may be a contributing factor towards your pregnancy. So that is going to be my focus in this session. Now, what is obesity and how do we judge it? The obesity is basically judged by something called as a BMI index, that is body mass index. And if an index lies in this range of 25 to 29.9, then we say that you have a healthy particular weight to height ratio. Whereas if it overshoots this, or if it undershoots, then definitely there are other particular problems that are related. That is, either you are underweight or you are overweight. So everything is computed based on your BMI index. And since we are dealing with the obesity in this session, I'll be focusing on the BMI values that is higher than 30. So we have three categories of it: category 1, 2 and 3, with these ranges of the BMI index. So in category 1 we have 32, almost 34.9. In category 2, 35 to 39.9, and above particular 40 is categorized as category 3. So now it is very important for every woman to compute her BMI, and let us see how it is being computed. There is a simple way of doing it. What you need to basically do is calculate your weight in kg, calculate your height in meters, only divide your particular weight with the square of your height, and whatever number that you get, try to match it against this range. That will tell you in which range you fall. Sometimes your BMI may be less than 25 also. That means you are underweight. That can also have its own problems. So simple way of computing BMI is calculate your weight in kg, kilograms, calculate your height in meters, and divide your weight with the square of your height. Square means multiply that particular height again, and whatever value that you get, based on that you can compare in which range you fall. So that is a simple. Now we'll see, is obesity is going to cause infertility. So first exercise that I want you to do is calculate your own BMI now itself, and then if you have a particular problems related to conceiving, or if you have other particular gynecological related problems, need not be always related to pregnancy, because obesity invites a lot of problems. But in our session I'm going to focus from the infertility perspective as well as from the pregnancy perspective. So what obesity can it cause infertility? Definitely we have two categories of it. One is primary infertility, wherein a couple has never produced a pregnancy. A couple who are trying to conceive and are unsuccessful, so they never had any kind of particular pregnancy or conceiving process that has occurred, and we term it as primary pregnancy. We do also get secondary infertility issues, wherein a woman was previously being pregnant, regardless of the outcome. So she might have a successful pregnancy also prior to it, or she had conceived and because of some particular complications, she was unable to continue with the pregnancy. So which might have resulted in sort of premature particular birth or a full-term particular delivery or spontaneous abortions, ectopic pregnancy, and so on. So she had a history of this kind of things, and now she is unable to conceive. That is what we term it as the secondary infertility. So this kind of problem can also come up if you are obese. So both needs to be handled in a different way. So definitely obesity is going to create infertility issues. It can be primary as well as secondary in nature. Now, I like to share this particular picture, which I use very often and is also there in my clinic. Is if you see this, you go inside with the overweight body and you come out with a healthy body and you are already pregnant. So the picture itself conveys a lot of things, right? And it is not going to happen overnight. You need to work towards it. And there are different ways wherein you can work over it to get your BMI in a normal range. One more thing I would like to highlight is in the process of computing BMI, we have divided a difference between your weight and the height. Of course, your height will not change now. So only the contributing factor over there is the weight. And that only you need to alter so that you get your BMI within your normal range. So, how does the particular obesity is going to affect you, or how does it going to cause infertility? Now, woman's reproductive system works in a cycle. That means your menstrual phase, it is basically a 4-step process. One is where you are bleeding, then will be the follicle phase, then will be ovulation phase, there will be luteal phase, and then again your menstrual phase will come, wherein you see the bleed. So there are basically 4 phases that goes in 1 month cycle. And for all these particular cycles to happen properly, there is a major contribution of your hormones. The hormones are responsible for bringing the right cycle at the right time. And during each cycle, some of the hormones in your body will be a major contributing factor. And some hormones which were contributing factor in the previous particular phase of your menstrual cycle needs to lower down in the subsequent phases. And if this everything works properly, then you have a healthy menstrual cycle. And if you have a healthy menstrual cycle, it just boosts up your chances of fertility. Okay? Again, having a menstrual cycle is not everything. There are other parameters that are also involved. But regularizing this definitely will play a significant role. So, if you are obese, then definitely in obese woman, we find this particular one hormone called as estrogen is very high in a woman. Of course, in a healthy menstrual cycle, for some phases, this hormone has to be at its peak level, and in some phases it has to come down. But when you are obese, definitely this hormone tends to remain in the higher side, and as such, you will have issues related to your menstrual cycle. Issues can be, it will slow down. So you are not going to get a menstrual cycle every month, right? So there will be irregularities involved. In some women, if the levels are too high, then there are also chances of the stoppage of the menstrual cycle. So in an obese woman, this particular hormone tends to remain high and can cause this kind of issues. Definitely, apart from this hormone also contributes in regulating the other hormones which are equally important for the production of the egg, for the release of the egg on the right time, for the development of endometrium, and so on. So all those particular other hormones are also getting affected because of the peak level of this hormone, and then everything becomes a mess. So this is one of the hormone that may be contributing to your infertility if you are obese. Definitely with the peak level of this, your menses will be delayed, the frequency will be hampered, right? It can also result in slowing and stopping of the ovulation cycle, which is very important if you want to conceive, because unless the egg is released, definitely the chances of fertilization will not happen. So that gets also hampered. So these are basically all the problems that will be associated from your menstrual cycle. So regularizing is one of the important component wherein you will improve your chances of fertility. Now, what are the other challenges that comes in a woman who are obese? Very common is PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, or a disease, and this is very common in a woman who are obese. Definitely the fundamental particular part of this particular syndrome is it is not producing a good quality egg. The eggs are not maturing good enough so they can be fertilized, and as such it drops down your chances of conceiving. I already have one particular video explicitly mentioned on PCOS and PCOD. There I have explained in detail what it is, so I will not go more into detail of this. Then it may also be associated with your thyroid disorders. You can have hypo or hyperthyroidism, wherein your TSH hormone level, thyroid stimulating hormone level, will be either too high or either too low. That's how we categorize it as hypo or hyper, which ultimately may result in having a delayed periods or menstrual cycle, or you can have more than one particular menstrual cycle within a time frame of 30 days. So if this particular hormone gets disturbed, then definitely there is irregularity in the period is also observed. And definitely you are going to have hormonal imbalance, and which totally disturbs your menstrual cycle, and of course the other parameters that simultaneously happens in your body. So these are other common related problems associated with the obesity. Now, what is the risk of obesity in pregnancy? So now I'm shifting over is if you are obese and if you are planning to conceive, of course you are going to have this kind of problems. But if you succeed in conceiving, then what are the particular problems that can come up in the pregnancy? First and foremost is gestational hypertension, wherein a woman tends to have a high blood pressure, and basically it starts from towards the end of the first trimester and more common in the second half of the pregnancy. So if your blood pressure, if you are not having any particular blood pressure related issues even prior to conceiving, you may get this kind of issues here. You can also get preeclampsia. It is a condition wherein we call it as a form of the gestational hypertension, and that usually happens in the second half of the pregnancy, and it may continue to remain even after your childbirth. And in some women, it continues throughout their lifespan, and wherein we have to supplement them with the medication. So this condition can also occur. Another common problem is gestational diabetes, wherein your body tends to produce high amount of the glucose, and as such the problems associated with a gestational diabetes is your baby tends to gain a lot of weight. There can be other complications that can also come up, and definitely it pushes you towards having C-section because the baby weight is increasing, and too much amount of weight for a baby is also not a good indicator. In extreme cases, it is also possible that the baby itself may become diabetic. So there are a lot of other complications also associated with the gestational diabetes, but I'm not listing it down them. Some of them I've just highlighted here. Then you may have the problem like the obstructive sleep apnea, wherein a condition is more common wherein when you are sleeping, you suddenly feel that you have stopped breathing. So you feel the shortness of the breath, or you feel you have suddenly stopped breathing for some amount of time. That is also related to this obesity problem, and we call it as a sleep apnea. So I listed down some of the common problems that you can come across a pregnancy in case of obesity. Of course, during pregnancy you are going to gain some weight, but you need to also control your particular weight so that additional gain in the weight, which is quite obvious during pregnancy, should not make the things more worse for you because you are already obese. So a proper weight management, diet management needs to be followed to keep these things under control. Now, how obesity can affect the pregnancy? So there is a possibility if in a woman who is obese, their fetus can have a birth defects. It may be basically related to heart or neural defects may be observed more often in the baby. Problems with diagnostic test, because if any scan that is to be done, and if you are obese, then definitely there is a thick layer of the fat that is accumulated in your upper skin area that doesn't allow the particular beings to penetrate inside, and a clear indicator of the growth of the fetus and other parameters cannot be obtained that clearly. So problems may be there with the diagnosis test. Fetus anomaly scan or ultrasound may not give that much accurate readings if you are obese. There is also a condition called as macrosomia, wherein the fetus is basically larger than what is a normal size expected for a fetus at different gestational times. Along with that, as I said, if a mother is gestational diabetes, this problem gets aggravated because the baby tends to grow more and put in more weight. There are very high chances that a mother can go for a preterm birth. There are also very high risk of stillbirth. It is higher than a woman's. It is basically more common if the particular woman has basically category 2 or category 3 BMI index, then basically there are very high chances of stillbirth. Now, how to lose the weight, right? So we have seen that what are the problems that can happen during your pregnancy from the mother's perspective. We have also seen how it can affect the baby. Now we need to see how we can try to decrease this effect. How to lose weight. Definitely the easiest way is burn more calories. You need to be active within your palm, okay, with the proper guidance of your doctor if you are already pregnant. Then getting regular exercise and eating healthy food is a must. Then increase your physical activities, of course, as I said, is under the restrictions of your doctor if you are already pregnant and otherwise also. Do moderate activity, whichever is suited for you, like biking, walking, gardening, and do it for at least about 1 hour. So whichever is more suited for you, do it, but indulge yourself in at least 1 hour particular this kind of work, whichever is possible, or you can do all of them as well. And vigorous activities like jogging, swimming, doing a heavy yard work, at least do it for 20 to 30 minutes. Again, reminder that if you are pregnant, do take consultation from the doctor based on your individual condition of pregnancy. A doctor will tell you which one you can do and which one you cannot do or should be avoided. But definitely this kind of activities is a must in order to lose the weight. Other particular options, if this can be done only prior to particular conceiving, surgical procedures are also there to remove your excess fat. Okay, and get your hormonal levels tested. Sometimes if there is a particular imbalance in the hormone, then definitely there are lot of difficulties in losing a weight. Okay, your metabolic activities may be hampered, the way your body is burning the food and absorbing the vital components, it may be affected, and also the way your body is utilizing your energy reserves may also be hampered. So for that, a proper guidance from the endocrinologist is very important. If there are hormonal related issues in you, and with the proper guidance and by following these steps and a medication, definitely a lot of weight can be reduced. I always tell my patient is, if we succeed in reducing 10% of your weight, you are improving your 40% chances of conceiving naturally. So with 10% reduction, definitely your chances of conceiving naturally are boosted by almost 40%. Fine. So you need to work out all your plans with a very healthy balanced food is a must, and a rigorous exercise with moderate and rigorous nature, a good combination of both of them is a must to have a healthy BMI index, which will be solely dependent after a particular age with your weight factor only, because your height is not going to change. Now, plan a healthy meal. So whenever you're eating, always make sure that your meal is healthy. Now here I put up the picture. Many particular patients ask me, if I do the fasting for 1 month, if I do the fasting for 1 week, will I lose a weight? My answer is definitely no. When you're fasting, totally fasting, because what happens is your body is used to a particular metabolic activity prior to you have started your fast, and if you suddenly start fasting, your body still needs that energy to keep you alive, and then it starts draining that energy from your reserves, because you are not eating, but the body needs a particular that much amount of energy to sustain, and once it starts draining more from your reserves, then definitely you are more prone to get weakness. Your important electrolytes will be absorbed by your body, and that is how the things may become more worse in the subsequent particular months to come. So how do you lose weight from here? So in this slide you say fasting. So when I say fasting, you need to fast about all the unwanted food which are not required. For that, avoiding those food can be called as a fasting. Okay. So if you are avoiding those food, what you should eat, right? So for a healthy particular fasting, I call it as a healthy fasting by avoiding unnecessary particular foods and eating healthy foods. So definitely eat healthy, have lot of fruits. You can have the roasted particular things, grilled things you can have, baked things, boiled things like the eggs, then vegetables you can boil. Don't overcook any vegetable. Just steam it, make a sort of a green salad, add something on top of it and can have it, that will retain the nutritional component of that vegetable. Then avoid anything that is fried, avoid all the sweet materials in whatever form, reduce the intake of the dairy products, right? So, and try having all these things. So whichever seasonal fruit is available, have it. Try to increase the intake of avocado and all those things. Ginger, garlic, this improves your fertility perspective. Try to have them as much as possible in a raw form in your diet. Along with that, other particular vegetables, fruits which are readily available at your place, try to have it. Also, if broccoli is available, have it. Spinach you can have. dry fruits you try to have. So that will boost your energy level without a requirement of the other additional food. It will provide you the energy that is required to sustain and will help you to prevent unnecessary eating of the food that is contributing to the increase in the weight. So that is very important. So, and drink healthily. Okay. So for when you're drinking healthily, try to drink particular water, have a lemon juice, then have coconut water, low sugar lassi you can have, buttermilk, but definitely as I said, the milk product needs to be reduced in a large quantity. So that is very important in this. So now, having seen this chart, it is very important that you have the healthy food like this and you also have a healthy drink like this. So try to increase a lot of water, about 3 to 4 liters a day is a must. Have a lime water mixed with the ginger. You can try it out in the morning sessions, early morning also. Try to increase the intake of coconut water. You can have lassi but limited. In a day, you can maximum have about 1 glass of milk in whatever form. Okay, buttermilk to some extent also needs to be reduced, not every day, but occasionally you can have that. Then by balancing your food like this, try to have a healthy food. Second thing I also tell my patient is fold your wrist and keep it on the plate, and like this you try to find out how much particular area that can be accommodated by a folding of the wrist for 2 times. And based on that, that is only the amount of food that is required by your body. Okay, we unnecessarily eat a lot of things and that is contributing to unnecessary gaining of the weight. Okay, and if you are overweight, definitely do consult your doctor. We also provide the guidance for maintaining the weight. Follow the diet plan. Constantly check your weight. Don't check it too many times. After a schedule which a doctor has given, do regulate and check your weight and follow constant consultation with your doctor when you are on a diet plan. That is very important. Then, so these are the items that we are seeing which were pertaining to having a particular obesity and fasting. You can also eat a lot of fruits. You can also eat a lot of vegetables. So I will just put this particular diagram to give you an overview of what are the other things that you can eat. So whichever is available at your place at any given point of time, try to have them in maximum amount. You can, along with that, you can also have the intake of the fish. You can have the intake of the chicken, but chicken you restrict it to about once in 2 weeks. Avoid red meats or in any form. Avoid butter, ghee, all those things which may be additional contributing factor to your weight, and try to have a lot of vegetables and fruits. Now, as I told you that in your pregnancy you are going to gain a weight, and how much weight are you going to gain? Fine. So if you are underweight, that means your BMI index was less than 20, then roughly we recommend a weight gain of 12 to 18 kgs in your pregnancy. If you are normal weight, of course these ranges are a little bit different compared to what we have compared there. Also the ranges may vary from different geographical areas, but roughly they will be plus or minus 2 here and there, because height is also contributing over different population. So roughly with this underweight, we can allow a patient to gain about 18 kgs. For normal weight, about 11 to 16 kgs of the weight gain during pregnancy is healthy. For the overweight, we have to restrict the amount of weight gain that you have in a pregnancy to about 11 kg, and in obese about 5 to 9 kgs. Then during the pregnancy, what can happen? Okay, that the amount of weight that you can gain here is, with respect to your breast, you may be contributing about 1 kg. With your fetus itself, it may be about 3 to 4 kgs, or it can be less than also. Placenta, which is carrying your baby and providing the nutritional component, may be about 0.5 to 0.8 kg its weight. Amniotic fluid about 2 kgs. Your uterus itself may be about 1 kg. Your maternal stores, that is your body's fat reserves, will be about 3 kgs. Additional blood that has been happening in your body may be about 1.2 to 1.8 kg. Other fluids, again about 1.5 to 1.8 kg. So totally, if we see, this entire thing may come around 11 to 15.3 kgs. So the weight gain in your pregnancy, because of this increase in the weight because of these different components, may contribute to about 11 to 15.3 kgs. Sometimes it can go to 16, 18. So what is more important here is maintaining this additional weight gain based on your BMI index. And if you observe that major of the contributing weight in your pregnancy are related to the baby, then the placenta, amniotic fluid, and so on. So in case of an obese person, you don't have much chances of further increasing your weight because of eating food. So additional weight can be only because of this growing baby and the fluid and other things. Because that itself may be around 11 to 15 kg, and you have a window of about 5 to 9 kg here. Plus or minus 1 or 2 will do, but your diet has to be more regularized, more balanced if you are obese during the pregnancy. Fine. So can I have a healthy pregnancy if obese? So you need to go to all your antenatal appointments, scan, make sure that you have any recommended blood pressure or gestational diabetes test which has to be done. They have to be done periodically if anything is detected. And of course, for normal pregnancy, for a woman who is having a normal BMI, also they need to follow. But in case of the obese, you have high chances of getting hypertension, gestational diabetes. So repetitive test needs to be done at regular interval. So follow with all of them. Eat well. What to eat, I already told you. Stay active. How to remain active, I already mentioned. Of course, there are also videos on my prenatal exercises during pregnancy. You can try it out. Even the woman who is trying to conceive can work out with those exercises. That will also help you to strengthen your different body parts along with your diet plan, which will also help you to regulate your weight. Take all recommended supplements whichever the doctor has given you. Follow any specialist advice from the dietitian or anyone else involved in your care related to the pregnancy related issues. And also, if you are trying to conceive, you can of course refer to a dietitian or a doctor prior to your planning of conceiving, so that you get your body into right shape and then go for the pregnancy. Now, what extra care needs to be taken? Extra ultrasound scans may be required because, as I said, when you're obese, some of the scans may not give the correct reading. So extra ones may be required. Or if there are any abnormalities seen, then a doctor needs to constantly follow up with that. So more additional scans may be required. More blood pressure test needs to be done. More blood test also needs to be done. Okay. Then if a gestational diabetes test, then 24-28 weeks, it is a must. And very often you may have to check your your sugar levels. If your definitely BMI is above 40, a high risk assessment of thrombosis, that is the clots in the legs or the lungs. So it also pushes your high risk for the development of the clots in the mother. Okay, so you need to tell your particular doctor everything. If you have any blood related issues prior to it, you need to inform your doctor so the doctor can give you the medication. So this kind of problem should not crop up. Definitely, you can have a longer labor phase even if you're trying for the first time. Also, there are chances of premature birth, emergency C-section. Okay, if the weight of the baby is too high, then it may not be idealistic approach to go for vaginal birth. So emergency C-section needs to be done. High risk in recovery from C-section. Heavy bleeding after birth is also important. So that is what has to be done. And here are some of the images that I have put up. Fine. So this tells you that this is always, if you maintain a particular healthy exercise routine, then definitely you can find out the changes in the body pattern. Now, I would like to answer some of these questions. How much to exercise in a pregnancy? Definitely, you need to consult your doctor because doctor will evaluate your individual case and then definitely based on the advice, control your exercise regime. But exercise is a must. Staying idle will simply result in gaining more weight. So you need to be active. How much to be active definitely will be decided by your doctor based on your individual condition of pregnancy. But definitely some stretching exercises you can do, small walks you can take, and all the other activities under a restriction can be definitely done. But you need to exercise. Will obesity affect the labor and delivery? Yes, definitely, because if you are obese, then definitely what happens is in the labor process, if we think that it is idealistic for you to go for vaginal birth, and for that a lot of pushing is required. And if you are obese and have a problem of blood pressure and so on, then definitely it can affect the labor process. It can take a little bit longer time for a labor process. Okay, you may feel more exhausted because you're overweight and your lungs may be sometimes compressed because of the growing fetus. And if the size of the fetus is also very little bit larger, then it can have this kind of issues. And sometimes the doctor may have to go for an emergency C-section as well. How to manage weight after baby born? Definitely after particular baby born, try to do as much as breastfeeding as possible. Do continue with your regular exercises with after the particular baby is born. And then there is also a regime that can be followed, okay, which is there already in our group. You can consult me also based on case-to-case basis, which can be definitely followed to regulate your weight. Because once you are out of the pregnancy, once a baby is born, again hormonal changes will happen in your body for your normal menstrual cycle to start. And that time also, some of the hormones, if they are not brought back to the normal, it may still result in gaining more weight or retaining the weight that you already gained. So a proper routine has to be followed to make a smooth transition from one phase to the other. And definitely you can contact me. I can guide you in that particular process. Again, it has to be evaluated case to case basis. So these are the things that I wanted to highlight in this small session. I have given you the importance of what obesity poses a challenge in pregnancy, as well as how it can cause infertility. So it is very important that you get your BMI in a normal range or close to a normal range. So that will solve you most of the problem. So that is the idea behind this. To get more information, you can join my group, Radhika Women's Health Forum, where we provide different kind of services. We have a lot of articles, resources, live sessions, consultations, free of cost available to you. So if you have any particular health related problem, especially for the woman, because the group is meant only for women, you can join us and get the expert medical advice over there. So I end up my session here. Thank you everyone for attending the session.